Hey everyone, welcome back. This video is about my visit to Winston, Oregon, where I had the chance to go to the wildlife safari to have adventures with ridiculously amazing animals that I would not have had the chance to see up close without having to travel to other countries. The drive up to the entrance was pleasant until we rudely interrupted a flock of wild turkeys that were in the middle of a mosh pit circle of death. Turkeys are known to be aggressive, but not today, which is lucky for them because I know Kung Fu. Not really. Anyway, we signed up for quite a few close encounters, with the first one being the red panda feed. Our wonderful guide provided great insight on their habitats, endangered status, and conservation efforts through breeding programs. I learned that red pandas are native to the temperate forest of eastern Himalayas, Nepal, Bhutan, and parts of China. They primarily eat bamboo, fruits, and insects. I've never been this close to a red panda before, unless you can count plushies of Master Shifu from Kung Fu Panda. My heart felt like it skipped a beat as I watched them delicately nibble on their treat, and it was one of those rare, once-in-a-lifetime moments that left me grinning ear to ear. It took so much inner strength in me to hold back on booping their little nose or holding their paws because a no-touch policy was set in place for safety reasons. Despite their friendly faces, we have to remember they are still wild creatures, so I remain respectful of that. Also because I didn't want to get banned from this place, as I do have plans on coming back. Experiencing a red panda up close is unforgettable, not just because of their charm, but also because they're a living reminder of the endangered species we need to protect. The main attraction here is the drive-through adventure, a 4.5-mile loop across a 600-acre expanse where the animals roam in carefully recreated natural settings. Because you're literally driving through their home, strict guidelines are in place. Like always stay inside your vehicle, don't try to feed them, and keep a distance of at least 3 car lengths if an animal comes near, which helps to preserve the integrity of their environment and your safety. Unfortunately, this isn't Monza circuit, so the top speed is capped at a leisurely 10 miles per hour. Best of luck trying to go into a slipstream, because you won't get that here. Yep. Seeing a rhino pee wasn't on my 2025 bingo card either, yet here we are. I half expected the rhino to nudge up against the rental, but they were very well behaved. Plus, I highly doubt insurance would have covered the damages. I asked my driver where we were headed next, and she said we're going to where the bison are. Did you know that bison don't need GPS? That's because they follow herd mentality. Up close, these guys were like living, breathing tanks with fur. They moved at their own pace, unfazed by our presence while we sat in awe of their sheer size. It's one thing to see a bison in a documentary, but it's a whole other experience when one casually wanders right past your window. You did it! You did it! So proud of you. 2025 is your year. I found out this elk is all alone on that hill because he was recently dethroned as an alpha male by another younger buck who asserted their dominance and took over the herd. So he got kicked out of the club for losing a fight, and now the sad boy sits alone on this hill, sulking, probably. When I was a kid, I watched a show called Kratz Creatures and saw an episode about hippos, and learned just how scary they can actually be. These chunky water cows are aggressive, territorial, and can snap you in half like an Olive Garden breadstick. With a bite force of 1800 psi, it's best to stay on their good side. I mentioned earlier that we can't feed animals, but there is actually an area towards the end of the drive where visitors can have a close interaction and feed them by hand using these specialized pellets that are safe for the animals to consume. Most likely, though, you'll probably run into these overgrown feather dusters who are shameless and overzealous about getting snacks from you. Hang on, friend. Let me get more for you, okay? These two reminded me a bit of the velociraptors from Jurassic Park because the sounds for them in the movies were actually recordings of emus. While these two were being a menace to us, all I could think of was if they ever evolve claws and pack hunting skills, we'd have no chance. After barely surviving the emu ambush, we entered a more peaceful zone where the animals had a much softer approach to begging for food. At first, they played it cool, lingering in the background like they weren't that interested. But the moment one decided to investigate, it triggered a domino effect, and soon we were surrounded, though in a much more civilized manner. Unlike the emus, these guys didn't slam their beaks against my hand aggressively demanding snacks, which made it a far more pleasant interaction. For the second animal encounter, we got the chance to be up close to one of Wildlife Safari's cheetah ambassadors. The staff took a photo of us and printed it out as a wonderful keepsake. And we also learned so much about the cheetah breeding program that they have here. A few facts. The cheetah ambassadors have somewhat of a part-time job where they sometimes get hired out for several activities, such as commercials. I also learned that Wildlife Safari boasts the second best cheetah breeding center in the world. Their program aids in rehabilitating the declining cheetah population, which helps to diversify the gene pool, which in turn helps in the cheetah's survival in the wild. Cheetahs might be the fastest land animals, but their numbers are disappearing fast. Fewer than 7,000 remain in Africa, and only about 50 in Iran. Habitat loss, poaching, and conflicts with farmers have put them at risk. Since cheetahs are more likely to run than fight, groups like Cheetah Conservation Botswana are training guard dogs to scare them away from livestock. It's a win-win. Farmers keep their cattle safe, and cheetahs get to live another day without becoming the bad guys. While waiting for the next encounter, we hung out at the petting zoo where the donkeys, goats, and sheep were, and then walked around a bit more just to kill time. It was here where I saw capybaras and tried hard to film them moving around, but they only did it after I looked away and turned the camera off. I'm pretty sure they did that on purpose just to mess with me. I was so sure this wallaroo was gonna let me pet them, but they hopped away shortly after stopping in front of me. Now it was our turn to be in a cage. Just kidding. This was the shuttle taking us to the next encounter, which was feeding giraffes. Unfortunately, they were very skittish and shy that day, and regardless of how best I tried giving them my sales pitch for these top-tier lettuce leaves, they just weren't biting. I guess even in nature, some days you're a 5-star chef and other days you're just background noise. The next part was one of my favorite experiences. because I never thought I'd ever get the chance to actually pet a rhino, let alone hang out with one. This absolute unit of a baby is already clocking in well over a ton. I give her the rating of 10 out of 10 epic war mount. I was so enthralled by this rhino that I actually got back in line just so I could pet her all over again. Oh my god, I really love this experience. Just some facts. Fewer than 17,000 are left in the wild thanks to poaching for their keratin horns. Yep, the same stuff that human nails are made of. So people are basically paying a fortune for overpriced nail clippings. The next adventure was an Elephant 101 with a senior citizen elephant. Since this elephant was older, I learned about the different ways they are enriched through play, exercise, and activities, such as painting. Unfortunately, though, I didn't realize I wasn't recording for a huge chunk of the session until it was already nearing the end of our time at the encounter. Most people are aware of how much information and memory an elephant can retain, so unlike me with my poor memory, I'm sure the elephant would have remembered to check that the camera was recording. Here's something I learned during my sixth encounter featuring big cats. These animals are basically the rock stars of the feline world. First, their claws are non-retractable, always out, always ready for action. It's like they're walking around with their weapons drawn 24/7. Then there's the roar. A lion's roar can be heard from 5 miles away, which is basically nature's way of saying, "I'm here and you should probably pay attention." Your house cat's meow, more like a polite "excuse me" when they want food. Another notable difference is their eyes. Big cats have big round pupils that make them look like they're permanently surprised, versus house cats who have slit pupils, which is perfect for giving you that "I'm judging you" stare. But here's the thing. Lions in captivity need special care to stay happy and healthy. Zoos and sanctuaries like this place use enrichment like puzzle feeders, scents, and toys to keep them mentally stimulated. And did you know that lions are classified as vulnerable? Their populations have dropped by 43% over the last 20 years due to habitat loss and human conflict. Are you sensing a pattern here? So, while big cats are fierce, loud, and always on, they also need our help to survive. House cats? Still cute, sassy, and probably napping on your favorite chair right now.
It is what it is.
I mean, not many people can say that, right? Not every day do you find yourself setting the table for a tiger, but that's exactly what I got a chance to do. Entering the enclosure and carefully placing different cuts of horse meat for their gourmet feast. Sumatran tigers are the smallest of their kind, but they're also the only tigers that have webbed feet, making them excellent swimmers. But despite their skills, deforestation and poaching have pushed their population down to just less than 400 in the wild. Seeing them up close was incredible, but knowing how endangered they are made the experience even more surreal. This was one of the most eye-opening places I've ever visited in a long time. Wildlife safari isn't just about seeing animals up close, it's about understanding what they're up against. The reality is, some of these animals may not be around for much longer without conservation efforts, and that's a tough reality to face. If you want to help with their mission, check out their website and learn how you can support them. I came here thinking I'd just be hanging out with some cool animals, but I'm leaving with a bigger sense of responsibility. With that said, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you learned anything in this video. See you on the next adventure. Bye bye.